We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for training in spreadsheets. And so um, we're figuring that you've gone through this training. Can spreadsheets save you time and reduce stress? Now, the challenge is when people go through this, that they've had some level of education before, like formal education. The problem I have with formal education is most of what we learn, it seems like we don't use. So therefore, people, when they start training with me, they think that they don't need to listen, they don't need to internalize things, they don't need to do things, because that's how it was in school. They think I'm like a school teacher, and as long as you pass the test, which we should be having tests. Anyways, let's stay focused today. And so, Saad, do you think everything you learned in this video, do you think you applied that in the spreadsheet that you had?
No, I don't apply everything, but yeah, some of the points I already did that because you already point out those things, like for example, to the most
Oh, it's
recent
okay.
dates
You
on the
don't need to
podcast.
explain everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, he said no, he didn't apply everything he learned. Do you know why you didn't apply everything you learned, Saad?
Because I think I was not aware of those things. Like it could be handled at more professionally. Like I was not aware about that.
Okay. So
Yeah, I did
why
not do
didn't you
that
go ahead
that
and
kind
go
of.
in before this meeting and do it?
Yeah, yeah.
No, why didn't you go in before this meeting and fix everything? Do you want me to give you coaching on what to say? What you say, Saad, is you say, because Mark, I wanted to give a gift to everybody else that so they could learn the thing,
Yeah, definitely.
right? Right. So,
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
okay. Well, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I love that. So,
Yes.
for all of you that went through this and you didn't pay attention to it, you better pay attention, because if you
Yeah.
don't pay attention to what I'm teaching you, I don't want to teach you again. And I definitely don't want to teach you when we should be working. And so it's not like school. It's not like school, like, well, I can retain it. And if I don't learn it, Mark will tell me again. Mark won't tell me again. And Mary Jo,
Yeah.
she seems nice. Oh goodness. Like, she seems nice, but there's something inside of her. Like, it's like she's a tigress. So, you know, she's got a lot going on too. She's got a lot going on too. And so you don't want to take people's time. Like, this isn't like school. This isn't like, none of us get paid to do this training. Like, I don't get paid anything to do the training. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
And so, do you know what you might not have applied from what you learned in the first one on this here?
Uh, yes. Yeah, especially the numbers on the like uh, how I put that and how you guys put there. That is a difference. That is the first thing I noticed. So yeah, that was one thing.
Okay. Do you know
And
why we?
also, I have a
Do you
problem
know
with
why?
that too.
Do you know why
That
we?
person.
Do you know why we do it? It's just like my wife. I love that. Like,
Yeah.
do you know why we go ahead and do it our way versus your way or other people's way?
Not probably, but
Mary Jo, can you help out? Why do we do it our way versus somebody else's way?
I think it's more organized and more easy to do, or maybe uh, more
It's more
professional, maybe
efficient.
easy to,
So it's more professional. It's more easy. Go ahead, Mary Jo.
more easy to, yeah,
More efficient.
It's more
more
efficient.
Saves
efficient.
us a lot of
Yeah,
time.
Right. It saves us time. It's more efficient. So if you're an employee, you don't care how efficient you get things done. You get paid. A matter of fact, the less efficient you are, the more money you make. And So as an employee, you don't care. As a business owner, you care because you're never getting paid hourly. So even if
Yeah.
you're getting paid hourly, you're not really getting paid hourly. You just don't know how much money you're losing. So what we have done is I've spent 30, 40, 37 years figuring out spreadsheets and what's the most efficient way to do spreadsheets. Not only for me, not for me building the spreadsheet, it actually takes a little bit more time to build it in the most efficient way. And so, but if it saves everybody going forward time, me and everybody else time, if I'm saving everybody time, that's good for all of us. See, most of the time people are selfish and they're like, well, this is going to take a little longer. Well, it might take you a little longer, but if it saves everybody else working with you time, well, then that's worth the time. A couple things, I don't know if it was mentioned, but you'll definitely want to write this down. And that is everything gets cross-reference linked to everything else. So I won't tell the story about that, but when I was 18 years old, I learned that at a Bible college, Faith Baptist Bible College in Ankeny, Iowa, on a Thanksgiving when nobody else was in town and I was all alone and I was productive. And so you always cross reference. So there's always typically up in the upper left-hand corner, A1 is typically referred to is left open. So normally A1 is going to be left open for training. So at some point, probably at some point, A1 is going to be the training. Now, maybe we ought to switch that now. So if you're thinking Mark's inflexible, he's not. He's always looking for better ways. But first, you have to learn the way that's the most efficient. If you think you've got a better way, don't just do it your way. Because it may be more efficient for you, but it may not be more efficient for everybody else. Or there may be a
Everybody
whole
else.
bunch of other things that you guys are all aware of or not aware of that you don't even realize there's these things out there that have ripple effects. So normally A1 is reserved, but I'm thinking, I don't know. Yeah. And so often I'll go ahead and have the A column really tight. I'll have the A column really tight in what it's doing. And then if I go ahead and make it look, I make it look good. And then here, I'll, for training, I might go here. If I'm training on this particular spreadsheet, now training, so somebody else will be using our spreadsheets. Like if we're creating good spreadsheets, why wouldn't everybody use them, right? Like, and then I like to have as much data on the screen as possible. So when I see this, I'm like, ooh, this is inefficient. Like there's a whole bunch, like these are numbers. Numbers can be crunched together. Because when I go in and see the spreadsheet, I want to absorb like a pilot's dashboard or a dashboard of a car. I want to go in and see as much information as I possibly can so it can absorb into my brain and I can process stuff as fast as possible. The analytic personality likes to spend a lot of time with data. I'm analytic, highly analytic, super crazy analytic, but I don't like to spend time with data because the data is telling me a story. And I want to get that story as fast as possible because my driver, I've learned, I make a lot more money in business when my driver's in charge versus my analytic. When my analytic's in charge, I don't make as much money because it's not as fast. And I often focus on details that are not efficient or not productive. And so would I go ahead and go here and highlight this? And then when I go ahead and go up here and have it do a response there, and then would I go ahead and take this here and skinny that bad boy up, to go ahead and try to get it as tight as possible. Not that tight. So there's 3 here. So I might do that. Ooh, I don't know if you all feel, see the driver, me, the dopamine, and me. Ooh, I love this. And I love that there's totals up here. Oh, like, okay, good. Now, you have totals that are numbers, and then you have percentages. So to make the most amount of money in a business, you need the perfect blend of quantity and quality. It's always quantity and quality. You have a whole bunch of quantity without quality. Like we have 1,000 people in LinkedIn, but if they're not quality or we're not doing quality work, well, that doesn't do any good. Or you have one and you get one sale, it's high quality without quantity. So you're always battling quantity and quality. This is all quantity. So between this step here, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Ideally, you'd have 3. You'd have 1, 2, 3. So this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Between each step, there's a pressure point. There's a percentage. So almost always, not always, but almost always, you're going to have numbers and totals, and then you're going to have percentages. The
Yeah,
percentages.
one column is for number
Yeah,
and one for the percentage.
Yeah, good
Okay.
question. In my ideal world, and a lot of times I do this, I go ahead and put in between here, I put the pressure points. So percentages can be even less than numbers. So if I go here and then I put it between each one of them, and so this isn't a good example, I'm going to move it over here. So between here and here is going to be a pressure point. So what I do is I go plus 46, plus 46 divided by this. And so then I go up here and I do percentages, and then I go ahead. And I don't want typically don't include pennies or, second or third. Don't do 10.9.35. Don't be super analytic on that unless it's necessary. So I don't want 9.625. I just want I want it rounded. It'll round it up. And so then I can go ahead so this is 10%, of this here. Then I go over here. And so when I'm building a spreadsheet, I'm also going like this. And so I've learned to build them fast and efficient. This is 48%. And then I go ahead and go here, and then I insert to the right. So this is the most efficient way. I know how to go ahead, and so I don't have to reformat cells. And so what I have is I have percentages. Now here, often this isn't going to be, this one doesn't seem right. So what I'm going to do is I often check my formula. Sure enough, it's not right. This happens a lot, where all of a sudden, so the way to prevent this from happening is you put a column in here and you go here and you go sum. So you go sum, and then you go here, and then you go, I get this cell here, and I got to go ahead and get it down below the bottom. If I insert something in between, see, this changes everything. So often people aren't paying attention to the work they're doing. This is not good in spreadsheets. This is not good in spreadsheets. And so what will happen, what will happen here is if I go ahead and insert a cell, a row above this, it won't include it in the formula. I put a header here. Anytime I'm inserting something down here, it's always going to move the formula. So my formulas don't get all wonky here. So I don't want wonky formulas. So I know I'm going over a lot of information. You might need to take, notes on this. You might need to go ahead and watch it more than once. Like this stuff here, you can tell Mark's an expert in spreadsheets. And so now I have pressure points. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking at what does the data tell me? And so I want, Zoom appointments. So all of these may be off. And so I'm going to go through here and I'm going to go here. Yeah, see, all of these formulas are off. And so I could see that because it's like something's not right here. Something's not right. And then here you should have sales. The most important thing is unit is how many sales we have. And so you look at 751 to get one x-ray sale. That is a lot of work. You know, all it would have taken is one missed appointment, whatever. So you want pressure points between all of these. Then what I do is I might go ahead, and if I don't think people are going to go ahead and, pay attention to this, I might go ahead and put these in a color, like a background color. People will go to it. Then I might go ahead and increase these here, and I might put them in bold. What I'm doing is like, how can other people? So I'm going to bold this. I'm going to put this up to 2. And then I don't know, do I want to put it into middle? I probably put these into the middle. So I want my customers, that would be me in this situation. I want my customers, when they go in and they see this, they're like, I just want to give Saad a hug. Like, holy cow, this is magical. Like, I can go in here and immediately see the story that's being told. And because I'm very young, I'm 61 years old, I have over 40 years of experience where I can go in and I go, now I know how to change this. I know how to get more of these. And then the links up here. So here you'd go ahead and put a link. Like, what other, so somewhere here I put a link. So I might go ahead and say, click, or I might just say sales. So what I'm doing is I'm creating efficiencies for myself and other people in the future. So here I have this document here. So here, these are interconnected. Like this here is interconnected. And then this here, I went to this link and I found out the whole LinkedIn. And so I don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a little time, go ahead and, a little time, not a lot, save myself and other people time so I don't have to look for things and other people don't have to look for things. And I can go here and then I might go, so any documents that's interconnected to one another, any documents that are interconnected to one another, I want them all linked. I want this link to that, and I want that link to this. So I would put something in here for spreadsheets, so maybe that's this one. I don't know. But everything's interconnected. So you can do that. Now this here, is going to create, like, this isn't going to work good. And so you reverse it. You go, you put the most recent data on top. So this is good. So you put the most recent data on top because the most recent data is what I'm going to be interested in most. Like, where is it at? Same thing here. You want the most recent data. You want week 3 here, week 4 here, and then you want totals here too, probably. And so you push it out. You can't push it out here because this here is going to muck up all of my stuff. So either I need to put this stuff, I'm probably going to need to put a separate, I don't know, maybe this is the same thing. Maybe this is the same thing as this up here. I don't know. If it's the same thing, I don't need it in 2 places. So what I do is I spend a little more
Yeah,
time.
it's the same thing, I think, and we can
Yeah.
and more efficient.
Yeah,
Like
you can
the top
decide
one
that.
you created.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, so if it's all at the
yeah,
top, then I can go in and I can go in. Now, Saad's going to look at trends and a whole bunch of other things, hopefully. Mary Jo will look at trends and hopefully everything. So there's different layers of data in being able to go through this. So really, a spreadsheet is like we learned in the first training. A spreadsheet, it's like a beautiful piece of art. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's like, so you think about, what is this data? What's the story telling me? So we have to go ahead. Great quiz question. Great quiz question is, what do we have to go? What's the numbers telling us? What's the story? Do we like that story or do we want a better story? To have a better story, we need to know what are all of the factors that go into these factors so I can change what I'm doing. And then I want to have, links. And so I might go ahead, if change this, I might put a link here, change this number. So I could go in and say, well, if I change the scripting, if I change the messaging on it. So this is, this is a beautiful thing. I mean, this is like my grandchildren. They're beautiful. Every one of them are created in God's image. This is a beautiful thing. And so you want to make it beautiful. So make sure that everything, like every word I say, you're taking notes. You're not to have to be told by myself or Mary Jo or anybody else. You internalize all this stuff and you do your very best the first time. That's very important. So hopefully this has been helpful. Always remember we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.